ask about supplements, painkillers, doping. What do players get? Do they know? Where are the boundaries when it comes to painkillers and things like that? There's been a lot more talk. Dele Alli spoke about it. And then what you start to see is people chucking out, or maybe like attributing bad form to ailments that they don't know if it's right or not. But one thing that I think is quite interesting is say like sleeping pills, because again, I think the difficulty I'd imagine, like I played like lower semi-pro, right? And you play a game under the lights in front of 40 people.
It's still a game at night time. It's fine.
But I get home and I just
couldn't sleep. Yeah.
So as much as it's painkillers, which I'm fascinated by that, and the doping element, like the sleep thing, I think I'm intrigued by that as well.
Yeah, night playing. My best case scenario for a game of football is an early kickoff, and then you've got the day to like wind down, and you can just be like a normal person come evening time.
Nice.
Worst case scenario is literally a nighttime game where you've had to spend the whole day getting ready for it. Then it comes around, and like you imagine you lose, and you can't sleep, your body hurts.
Or like I was thinking, so that time I saw Jimmy Dunn, they'd beaten I can't remember if it was Plymouth or Hull City away. So he'd got back in at get back in at 3.
Yeah, so those bus journeys at QPR, mate, wow,
horrific. Yeah,
but
so let's work. Okay, first of all, supplements and that kind of
supplements
thing.
tend to be given to you. There are some people where in the last say 15 years, it's actually quite cool now to try hard. So some people would be, you know what I mean? Like previously, you'd get called busy.
Yeah.
These days, it's like, you're trying to find the extra 1%.
Okay.
The issue comes because this information now as well could be coming. There'll be someone reaching out to you on social media. I work for this company. I do this. Or my friend does that, does whatever. And Pavel Schwalek used to play for QPR. Yep. So he played international football with Lewandowski.
Mm-hmm.
So Lewandowski's like doctor and so on would give him loads of supplements, and so Pavel was always having something. It's this vitamin.
He did have stamina,
mate. That's what I mean. Yeah. So you're like putting the two together. It's like, what is this? And it's it's Lewandowski as well. So
yeah.
Using all that, yeah. So people are constantly having it, but where some players go wrong is they do stuff without checking first with their physios, with their doctors. And you are supposed to be self-sufficient to where you can look on, I think it's the Global Draw website, to see whether something's legal or not.
Okay.
But when we're talking about humanity and we're talking about football humanity, most people aren't necessarily engaged to understand the importance of that.
Mm-hmm.
But very rarely do they take something that's that risky. And we do see the occasional case of it, say with like Torres and diuretics and so on. But people try and get anything that they can to help them get better. And for the doctors at the clubs, you take your blood test at the start of the year. These are the things you're deficient in. All of a sudden, you're getting this vitamin D throughout the year. You're getting this, it's zinc, it's that, it's whatever. So you get given stuff. And if you get given stuff from the club, it's not you that's liable anymore.
Right.
So people push for stuff from that standpoint. And not everyone takes that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that want to, or a club that has like a standard where that's a thing, then it's all legit.
So doping, and I mean, put drugs with that. There's been again, these sort of rumours that would come out would be that sort of players would sort of be injured for a certain amount of time. I don't want to get you in any kind of trouble here, but is that something that you've heard of, that the player will just kind of, they've done something on a night out or done something to try and enhance it?
Not possible.
No.
The reason it's not possible is the same way with like track and field, People will get caught, and the reason you get caught is from, I think again, it's the second half of my career, they started doing whereabouts. So have you heard about any of this? So back in the day, like a drug tester might come in on a Wednesday or whatever. And in fact, no, it's still the same. So let me try and address this properly. Drug tests are random, and when they come to your club, the people they pick, unless there's somebody who has to be checked because of a previous like ban or whatever, it's random, But on days, for example, from Monday through Saturday, the club will list everybody that's training, everyone that's going to be in. And so if the drug test is coming on a Tuesday, here's a list of everybody that's going to be in. Let's do it at random. This person's going to do a test, so on and so forth, But it could happen any day. But if you're somebody that's not going to be in, you have to do your whereabouts.
Right.
So you've got to say an hour. I think it's either an hour or 2 hours within the day of where you're going to be,
Okay.
because you could be randomly drug tested as well on that day.
Got you.
So you can't escape the cycle of being available to be tested.
Okay.
So if somebody, say, is playing 1 week and they maybe do something, then they say they're going to be ill. The fact is, if they're at the training ground, they're still up to be able to be tested. And even if they're not, you have to do your
give them an
whereabouts.
hour.
Because if you don't do your whereabouts, do that hour thing, you get a strike. You get 3 strikes, you get a ban.
Oh, okay.
So as far as drug testing goes within, say, professional sport, firstly, like for most, they'd probably declare that it's pointless because, you could maybe take this drug that enhances your aerobic performance, but if you can't kick a ball, all of a sudden you're still not going to be playing. And the gains you can make, they're so like
I see what you
marginal.
mean. Yeah.
So drugs within football aren't a big deal. I think clubs,
See, because everyone thinks that they are.
no, not even close. In track and field, to where like the difference between you earning $1 million and you earning like 100,000 is a tenth of a second in the sprint.
Yeah.
I get that. But when it comes down to
Quite a closed skill, I guess. As
yeah,
well.
and like 1% is enormous.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of football, you could maybe do stuff that will help you, that could help you recover. But they'd rather do that through strategies in terms of, say, the running you might do the day after a game, the protein shakes and stuff that you have. But yeah, you can't escape the cycle of being drugs tested. And sometimes at QPR, I think it's just because of the location, like they were there all the time, mate.
Really?
All the time. And it's aggressive, and to the point where it's not soft. Like when I was in America, I found this a bit nuts. Because in the UK, I was somebody who wouldn't take anything, because I knew that, like, discomfort's discomfort. I'll try my best or whatever. I didn't really take painkillers or anything. But I thought, if I make a mistake here, that's 4 years. That's a career done.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be suffering and have nothing than even have the chance to have anything in me. But in America, when I went, it might have changed now in MLS, but they take 2 drug tests a year, and they know when they come in.
Right.
And it's gonna be March, and it's gonna be one in October.
Okay.
And then, given it's America, as you go throughout the states, some states are legal for marijuana and stuff like that. Some places aren't. And I had teammates who were excited to go to,
Yeah.
like, Washington State so they could get some weed, smoke, and do whatever.
Right, man.
Because at first they knew they weren't going to be tested for a long time.
Yeah.
And the only time it varied is, like, if they were international players.
Right.
But otherwise, that's the culture.
Mm.
And also over there, like, the league is so controlling with it that, say, if you do fail a drug test, depending on what it is, you might be out for, like, there's a guy who got caught for steroids in 2019, guy from Seattle, and he had a 10-week ban for steroids. Yeah. I was like, this feels a bit sus to me. Then he came back in and scored in the playoffs, and his team made it to the final. So I was like, no, I'm not having this. But whereas in the UK and around the world, it's different. But you can't escape drug tests, so nobody's doing that. Nobody. And if they do, they will get caught.
Painkillers.
Painkillers are a thing in football.
Yeah.
Through my time, a big thing in football. And I think lots of players, as you start off as a young person, you don't really see that. Like in academy football, it's not really a thing. They're not trying to encourage you to have that sort of thing. And you as a player don't go up to a physio and say, I need this.
Right.
When you enter the sort of like pro ranks, you've got people with different experiences within their careers, people who've got different ailments and so on, people who've got like chronic injuries and such.
Superstitions too?
For some, maybe.
Yeah.
But then you could also argue, in this case, it's addiction.
Yeah.
There's an interesting balance, and it depends on who's doing it as such.
Mm-hmm.
But some people would be keen to have them before a game. But because we're not in their body, we don't know whether they're doing it because they need it to get through a game, or they're doing it because that's what they do.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like some people, say Jordan Pickford's, Vardy's, people like that. Like they have to have a Red Bull before a game.
Yeah. Well, is the snooze a thing for you?
Well. This is a good one, actually.
It's I can't escape it now. Like you're just walking around,
Mate,
Blake's
so
just doing this all the time.
When I was younger, the first time I saw snus was when we had a Swedish goalkeeper at City, Andreas Isaksson. Used to be Sydwest Isaksson.
Yeah, really good.
I know, man. Shout out to Isak, man. He's a good guy. Good guy. Massive fella he was. 1.99 m.
That's
massive. Bigger than Christmas he was. But he used to have two up in his lip. And I was like, what is that? Two. But he's like full Scandi though.
Yeah.
So that's regular for him. But at that time, only the Scandinavian players had it, and they might offer some to people every so often.
You give it a go, yeah.
Yeah,
because you could.
I've done it. I did it twice in my life, yeah, and it was at Christmas. Both at Christmas parties actually. But he'd have it.
Do you like it? I hate it.
Nah, it's
It
weird.
made me feel sick.
It's that rush of like nicotine.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is this? Why is my body telling me I'm in a fight? I'm sitting down. Why am I in a fight? But anyway.
Yeah, totally. I was like, hot.
Exactly.
Same.
Same. That's what I mean. Your body's like, whoa. Pull up.
Yeah,
Something's happening.
Get out.
But he had it. And at the time, most people couldn't get it unless you imported it. So it was quite a niche industry at that point.
Yeah.
And this wasn't the point where social media was quite big, so you didn't really know what other clubs were doing. So unless you had a player who knew a Scandinavian player, you'd probably never seen it before.
Right.
You couldn't get it, couldn't see it.
Right.
Then as time passed, start to see loads of these like obscure Instagram pages popping up saying, "Oh, Snuff's delivered" and all this. So more and more people started to have it, and then it's people not just from Scandinavia, and then before you know it, it's just slammed up people's lips. And
It's everywhere.
This things that I don't like personally. Like people can do it, whatever. You're free, do whatever you want. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the fact that for some people, like who I played with specifically at QPR, they just leave it on the floor afterwards.
Mate, urinals. Like I can't have a wee anymore without seeing these.
I don't know if they're doing it as a bit, but it gets honestly.
I'm annoyed.
Ticks me off, yeah.
Yeah.
And also for some now, some of it is like it's trendy. It became trendy and people started doing it. But like, what's the real benefit in doing it? Because now for some people, they're addicted to where they have to have it in all the time, and they're not even aware that they're doing it anymore. And that's when I think like you didn't need to get here.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Also, I guess like being able to do a powerful one. There's like
they're not bothered about it. There's not even that discussion anymore. From back in the day, it was like, oh, this is the Siberian one or whatever.
yeah. Well, it was Siberian.
Yeah, but now it's just like they just have it and it's just in. It's just in, then it's out, and then you know it's around because you just smell it for a second, then it's gone. And I don't know how it affects them, but then as well as it being with players,
I get confused by it in the sense of like it's supposed to be you're supposed to be focused more, but also chilled more. That's what I'm struggling with.
I think it's just reached the point to where like two things. The first one is like it's not just players anymore because I've seen it with players' partners and friends and people away from football.
Right.
Because the football, as I saw it, was the genesis of it.
Yeah.
But then the other side is, I say, it's the dependency to where they put it in. It doesn't make a difference anymore. But the only difference is when they don't have it in.
Yeah.
So from a performance standpoint, they have to have it.
I think it's this generation's vapor rub.
I'll tell you what. Do you know what? That's a respectable shout.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Did you play with Vieira?
I did. Yeah.
Was he still doing it then?
Yeah, he was.
He loved it, didn't he?
Yeah. I'll be honest though. It's Patrick Vieira. Man can do what he
Yeah,
wants. I got a lot of time for Patrick. What a smooth guy.